This is Mr. T at the Pathways Innovation Center in Casper, Wyoming, who teaches financial literacy. In Chapter 5, which is Life After High School, students do a little mini project called the Career and College Ready Plan. This is the first step to a job shadow, and they need to get a score of 8 or better on their own plan. And basically, this is Mr. T trying to help them plan for their after high school education or training while avoiding debt. So they only need to do this for their top choice that they narrowed down, their top career choice. And this goes in that column that says schools, alternative routes, scholarships, etc. So this is where that information goes. But I built a kind of Google sheet. You could have done this in Excel, kind of a calculator that'll help you calculate the costs. So the purpose of this video is to walk you through that so you know how to narrate and write your calculations for how you're going to pay for school without student loans or debt. And so on the left-hand side here, we see we've got a spot for tuition. We do have a separate spot for fees if those are broken down when you look at your institution. We do have a spot here for books or what you should be budgeting for them. We have a spot here for living in the dorms or meal plan. I'll tell you, if you don't live in the dorms and you can't live at home, let's just use around 12,000 if you're going to have roommates and 15,000 if you're going to live on your own and have like a studio or a one-bedroom apartment off campus. But if obviously you see that living in the dorms is much, much cheaper, and that's why it really makes a lot of sense to live at home with mom and dad if mom and dad will let you do that, because then you've eliminated either this $7,200 a year, $7,200 in expenses in living in the dorms with a meal plan, or you've eliminated that $12,000 to $15,000 it'll cost you to get an apartment and live on your own per year. Then transportation total, that's this calculator here. I'll show you how that works in just a moment. So this will be the total money you've got to make sure that you've come up with between work and scholarships to pay for school. And again, this is why going to community college is way cheaper. And the best plan you can probably make is to go from Casper College to the University of Wyoming if you're doing a 4-year degree. Now, if you're just doing a 2-year certification program in construction or construction management or automotive or one of the trades, the electrical program there or the plumbing program there, then of course you won't need to do this for 4 years because most of those are 2-year programs. So that is going to entail you doing research on your own into that. But I'll show you what we've done here if I go ahead and look at Casper College, because most students this will make the most sense for, whether you're doing a 2-year program or a 4-year program. And I only need to see you do this for your first year or two there. So if you just plan on going to Casper College, living at home, you make life a lot easier on yourself on this. If you do plan on moving out or moving, then you need to get that information from whatever school you're looking at, whether it's ITT Tech or YO Tech or wherever you're going to go. But a lot of times you're going to have to hunt on the website. So I'll click on that squashed hamburger and it says admissions and aid. A lot of times it'll say prospective or future students. You might click on that. We're going to click plus, and then it says paying for college. So we're trying to find tuition information. So we'll expand that. And then there we are, tuition and fees. So if we click on that, that's how I found this information. And here you'll find resident tuition means that you've been a resident of the state for 12 months and you've been paying taxes. So you get a break on tuition. So like a non-resident will pay about $10,000 a year at Casper College, where somebody who is a Wyoming resident will only pay $4,000 at Casper College. And then if you look over here, room and board, $7,260, that's where I got those numbers. And books and supplies, they tell you to budget about $1,350. So that's literally where these numbers came from. And you notice that comes up with a total of $19,565.17. But that's because I've already done the work here because this individual, we're pretending that they plan on having a vehicle or a car. And so we'll break down those costs. We did this in the chapter on budgeting, but this will also kind of remind you how to do that. So the first thing you need to do is figure out gas and what that's going to cost. And you'll do that by getting the current fuel average, which will change. So when you get to this, what you'll need to do is you see how that's a blue link. All these are blue links. That's a hint you need to click on it. And if you forget and you click on this box, it says click link to the left and record current average fuel price here. So if I click on that and click on this link, it's going to tell me that and I'm going to go ahead and close these while I'm at it, while I wait for that page to come up. Okay, I'll close all these. Okay, this one tells me it's $2.61. So I'm going to go ahead and go back here, and it's down a little bit from yesterday, so we'll put 2.611. So now we've got the current fuel price. Now, you need to calculate how many miles are driven per month. Now, you can do that in reality by trying your first schedule for your first week of college, and actually using your odometer on your car to actually press the button and start at the beginning of a month, and then 30 days later see how many miles you've driven. Now, when we're just estimating and we don't know how much that's going to be, we take the average annual mileage, every yearly miles driven by the average person, and then divide that by 12. In this case, 15,000 miles a year is the average miles driven by the average American. Some people drive a lot more, some people drive a lot less. A lot of us in Wyoming are going to drive a lot less than that because of the short distances apart, and we don't have an hour commute to and from work every day. So in reality, this is probably going to be an overestimate, because if we take average for the American, divide by 12, we get about 1,250 miles a month, 1,250. So then you would need the fuel economy of your actual vehicle. So if you know you get 12 miles a gallon, put 12 miles a gallon here. You can also Google that by putting your year, make, and model, and just put MPG or fuel economy in your search, and then you can find out what your fuel economy is there. But most people track that to see how bad a gas mileage they're getting. And so what this formula then will do is take the 1,250 miles in a month, divide by 18 miles per gallon, and this will tell you how many gallons in a vehicle that gets 18 miles a gallon, it'll take to drive 1,250 miles. So it'll take 69 gallons. So now that we know the price, the current fuel price, we can multiply those two together, 69.44 times 261 a gallon, and that gives us 181.32. So you don't need to mess with that. Gasoline will automatically calculate that for you once you've entered these two variables along with the current fuel price. So you need to get the miles driven per month. You can leave that at 1,250 if you think that's reasonable, but then you definitely want to use your actual fuel economy in your current vehicle here. And then that'll tell you need to save about 181 a month for gas on your vehicle. The next thing Americans tend to forget on their vehicles is how much they should be saving for repairs when their vehicle breaks down, for maintenance and scheduled maintenance, not just oil changes. That could include replacing a timing belt at 60,000 miles on your car. And that you get from the dealership, or you can find it online. You Google scheduled maintenance on a 2011 Toyota Tacoma if that's what you've got. So that'll give you a sense. But anyway, you need to know how much per mile maintenance, repair, and tires would cost you. And that we're going to get from AAA, which does some really good research. So if we click here, it tells us, click on the link to the left, scroll down to find the latest brochure, then look for the class of vehicle that matches your vehicle and get that information. I'll show you how to do that here. So if I click on that link and bring this up, AAA really provides some really good information that helps us budget better for our vehicles. So your driving costs is a brochure they produce every year. So we're going to go down here and keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling like the instructions said, and we're going to find 2019 here. So if we click on that, this will go ahead and bring up the 2019 brochure. And then we're going to scroll down, and we're going to keep scrolling until we find this table. And in this table, that's where we're going to find out how much we should save for maintenance, repair, and tires. You'll see here this is by vehicle class. So if you've got a small sedan like a Toyota Corolla or a Honda Civic, a medium sedan like maybe perhaps a Camry or an Accord, or a large sedan, maybe like a Buick LeSabre or something like that. You'll find your vehicle class, and this is the information we're looking for right here in this column. It goes to small SUV here, medium SUV there. We're also going to find a good estimate on fuel and full coverage insurance on this line. We're also going to find license, registration, and taxes on this line. These numbers here will divide by 12 to figure out how much we should be saving per month, and we don't need to worry about the rest of those. But if we scroll down here, you're going to find your minivans, your pickup trucks, your hybrids, and your electric vehicles. So we're really going to be looking at that maintenance, repair, and tires. So once you've found that for your class of vehicle, you're going to come back here. Now that is in cents. So what I've done here is I've actually moved the decimal over two places to put it in dollars. So if it says 8.53 cents, you just